Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I am back, same day, unless you're watching this like years in the future, with a very special review. I was so excited to bring the next two figures you're going to see to you today that I actually went to the post office and used a little pull to get them before they were going to be delivered. It is from the Transformers Generations 30th anniversary line. Legends class Bumblebee with Blazemaster. These are these new Target Master style Transformers. Bumblebee is a really, I guess, what you would say a Commander class sized figure, but they've brought back the Legends term for these sets. Um, this is the front of the box. It has the 30th anniversary logo. Yeah, 30 years since Transformers. That's gonna be something. Yeah, I'm gonna have to deal with. But uh, name down the side. O2, Optimus Prime, and Roller number one. They'll be coming a little later. Here's the back. We've seen the packaging shots. The vehicle mode, the three modes for Blazemaster. So yeah, let's pause here, and I will show you Bumblebee. Okay, here's Bumblebee, and he is very small. Um, I mistakenly said in the intro that these were Commander class size. Well, actually, I think they're kind of smaller than Commander class. Um, they're not quite Commander, a little bigger than Legion. Like I said, this is Legends class. It's a whole new size structure. So yeah, for articulation, nothing at the head, uh, swivel shoulders, ball jointed elbows. So he does have some movement there. Unfortunately, due to the panels and stuff, there's no side to side movement, no wrist articulation, ball jointed hips, single jointed knee that can only go yay. Oh, let me move the arm. Yay far. And the feet, and he does, they does have that little rotation at the hip. But like I said, these are really cool figures, and we're going to come in for a detailed look. Okay, nice close-up look at Bumblebee's head. As you can see, it's Bumblebee. It's that typical look, yellow. I think I see a little shades of blue there, silver. Um, I'm going to pull back a little, and he's yellow. I mean, it's Bumblebee. uh, there are some red highlights on the shoulders, Autobot logo, and what's the chest. Red right here underneath, I guess, be his stomach. The black highlights. Yeah, there's really not a lot of color to him, but again, you don't need to have a lot of color. It's Bumblebee. So we will pause here, and I will show you his transformation. Transformation really isn't that difficult. It's just that towards the end, when you're putting everything together, it gets a little bit fiddly. I do want to show you the instructions. These are not wonderful. There's, in my opinion, a lot of steps left out that, for lack of a better word, need to be shown. Or in some cases, the step isn't as clear as it should be. One thing I do want to mention is that Bumblebee's head is attached to this back panel. But that panel is also hinged into the part that is connected to his waist joint. I mention that because you're going to try to push the back plate down more, farther than it'll go. I mean, the back, you'll see in vehicle mode what I'm going to say. But there is some overlapping and detailing. So to start off, we're going to go ahead and bring down the shoulder pads and straighten out Bumblebee's arms. So they're like this. Then you're going to come in and flip out the panel and basically accordion it down, bringing the fist in and forming a completely straight panel like that. I'll show you on the other side. Same thing. Bring out that side panel, accordion it down so you have a completely straight panel. And you want to make sure, of course, everything is lined up and tight together. So you're just going to go ahead and flip the arms back like so. Keep them, keep it loose. Come down here and you'll peg the legs and feet together. A little bit of a prime look I just noticed with Bumblebee here. Next, you want to come in, going to keep them sideways and detach the panel. It pegs into the waist and bring it forward. As you're bringing it forward, you want to go ahead, unsnap his waist joint from the what is now going to be the rear of the car. And then what you'll do is, and I'm trying to think how I can show this to you. Basically, there's what was his his waist and crotch joint. You want to swing the legs forward, and as you do that, you want to bring this all the way up, so that is now perpendicular to the inside. It's like you're forming almost a 90-degree angle. You can then go ahead and flip down his feet. This will form the front of the car, and the legs might unpeg while you do that. It happens. The next step is you're going to push the arms back, forming the rear panels and sides of the car. There are tabs along the way, but the big ones you really want to notice that I have discovered are the important ones are on the inside of what was his knees, right where my finger is. They're going to slot into a hole on the inside of his leg. And this is where it gets a little fiddly, that you don't think things are going to peg together properly. And a lot of it is you just got to go in there and push and yep, there we go. Like I said, it's just a lot of it is just pushing stuff in, getting it together, and wheels do roll a little bit. You'll notice that this lip part, what's connected to his head, does have a tendency to stick, but very small in car mode. I mean, there it is in my hand. You now have some red highlights on the hood, silverish blue with the lights and the silver across the bumper, but still predominantly red and black, being Bumblebee. So this is car mode. Let's take a look at Blazemaster. Okay, here's Blazemaster. In vehicle mode, he's a helicopter. He's predominantly blue and black. I would say he's an homage to Hotshot's Minicon Jolt, who Hotshot was really in the Unicron trilogy, the Bumblebee-esque character, but also a tribute to Bumblebee's Action Master partner, who formed a helicopter pack for him. Transformation to robot mode is very simple. Basically, you're just going to go ahead, fold up the rotor fin slightly to get the head out of the way, fold up the front barrel, and swing up the arms. Unfortunately, with these smaller triple changers, there is always a exception to the modes. As you can see, we now have a big swath of gold along the chest. Let me come in here and show you the head. Um, as you can see, it's basically just a bar of red with some, I think, black highlights, but and gold, of course. No articulation, just some up and down arm movement to bring him back to hit, now to put him in his gun mode. We're just going to return him to helicopter mode. One thing I do have a little issue with, there is no pegs for the arms or a groove or something to hold them in place. Also, the tail fin is a little is loose as well. It can go forward a little too much, in my opinion. All right, so for weapon mode, you're just going to go ahead and fold up the tail fin, and as you're doing that, you want to come in, fold the front gun down, and pushing it forward will shift the body, and you have his blaster. You can go ahead and remove the rotor blade as well. This will be a secondary device for Bumblebee, who I've returned to robot mode. We can bring in right here. You can the gun pegs into his hand quite nicely and easily. Now for the rotor blade, it's shown putting it in his arm. Now this is kind of interesting. There's this front tire can actually telescope slightly, and you don't peg it in all the way, but you peg it in enough, and it rotates on the axis of the wheel. So you get a little blade shield and Blazemaster gun. Yep, I think this is really cool. I think it's a cool look for Bumblebee. Um, as you can see, it's fits very nicely, and his arm can hold it. The joints as of now are still relatively tight. Oop. Just trying to straighten it out a little. Now, another thing that I noticed, and this isn't shown in the instructions, so I'm not sure if it's official or not, there is a hole in the back of Bumblebee that you can peg Blazemaster into, and then you can go ahead and plug the rotor blade back in, and even though it can't spin, you do have a slight homage replica of his helicopter backpack. And you also have some weapon storage, which is always very nice to have. Okay, went for a little action pose here. It's not the greatest, but it's more me than the figure. I think this is really fantastic. I wasn't sure how great these new Legend class figures were going to turn out due to their size and the gimmick of the 3-in-1 mini-con. Yes, in weapon mode, it's a little too big, but it's not that bad. And to be honest, to have a G1 inspired Bumblebee with a gun, which is kind of cool. When you now, I got this off of Amazon. As far as I know, they're still available. I can highly recommend it and say go out and grab it. If you want to wait, if Springer and Blitzwing are showing up in stores, these can't be that far behind. Bumblebee and Blazemaster are part of Wave 1 with Optimus Prime and Roller. I've heard rumors that we're going to be might get a Megatron and Starscream, but it's being kept quiet who would be the larger figure, who would be the Minicon. Most people are hoping for Megatron just so to have a gun, handheld gun Megatron. But these are fantastic. And, I know some people complained, 30th anniversary, blah, blah, blah. Who are the first two figures they start off with? Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. But this isn't movie Bumblebee. This isn't Prime Bumblebee. This is animated Bumblebee. This is G1 Bumblebee. It's G1 Prime, or modern interpretations, not interpretations of the characters from different lines. who better to start the 30th anniversary series with than these two iconic characters? So, with that said, pick them up. It's your old pal Chuck for Bumblebee and Blazemaster. We'll see you next time.